steam ahead for the recently formed US Space Force. Established as a separate branch under the Department of the Air Force, it's already got a commander and a logo, and its organizational plan has been delivered to Congress. But how is Russia reacting to these developments, and what steps is Moscow taking to give its military boost in 2020? RT's Yulia Shapovalova has this report.
So America has opened another new front in space. The Star Wars 2.0 era officially began on January 14th, when General John W. Raymond was sworn in as the first chief of space operations for the brand new US Space Force.
It is President Trump's belief that the United States must remain as dominant in space as we are on land and sea and the air.
Various US presidents have wanted to militarize outer space. Donald Trump is only the latest. And now Washington wants to put a new type of weapon into orbit. They're proposing the creation of a group of 20 combat laser platforms within the framework of something called the Space-Based Laser Program, with the cost of that program reported to be some $81 billion. The Pentagon's hoping this will allow the US to counter Russia's next generation of hypersonic weapons. Meanwhile, back on planet Earth, NATO continues to build up troops and heavy weaponry along Russia's land borders. And according to Russia's defense minister, the intensity of aerial reconnaissance increased by a third last year, and marine reconnaissance was up by a quarter.
In the Baltic states, American air defense radars have been deployed to detect air targets. They allow them to control our airspace to a depth of 450 kilometers. Every year, the United States and NATO hold in Europe up to 40 major exercises that have a clear anti-Russian focus.
President Vladimir Putin says Russia is not afraid of external threats. In his January State of the Nation address, he confirmed the country's defense systems are assured for decades to come, and said other global leaders are trailing Russia's weapons capabilities. So what kind of weapons allow Russia to feel so safe? Well, the military is said to receive quite a few of them in 2020, to the tune of almost $24 billion. A total of 22 launches of the Yars and Avangard ballistic missile systems will enter the strategic missile forces this year. The Avangard complex is the one with an intercontinental ballistic missile and a hypersonic block that can travel up to 27 times faster than the speed of sound. Aerospace forces have also been promised new kit. In fact, 106 new and modernized aircraft, like the generation of 4++ Su-35S, MiG-29 and various Mi helicopters. The Army, meanwhile, will receive the 5th generation mass-produced Su-57 fighters, and an improved Tu-160M bomber has already been handed over for flight tests. These aircraft will be equipped with long-range anti-ship missiles. 4 regimental sets of anti-aircraft S-400 Triumph systems developed to destroy fighter jets, cruise and ballistic missiles and drones will be installed too, as a key element in Russia's anti-aircraft defenses. 6 divisional sets of anti-aircraft missile systems known as Pantsir-S will be used within the Russian armed forces. The Navy will also see its fleet seriously replenished with 14 ships and combat boats, 3 submarines and many more. For 2020, Russian ground forces are set to receive the latest armored personnel carriers with an uninhabited combat module, like the new T-14 Armata tank, which has a special armored capsule for troops, although most of the features of this top-secret tank have not been disclosed. And not forgetting close combat weaponry as well. The new 9mm Udav gun, or boa constrictor, is resistant to high and low temperatures, has 18 rounds and is able to penetrate armor of 9mm thickness from a distance of 50 meters. But how will Russia respond to this new US Space Force? Well, the country's president has been keen to remind the rest of the world about the importance of existing arms treaties and the dangers of their expiry, and has had this to say about the militarization of the skies.
Deploying weapons in outer space. Do we understand what this means or not? Ask the experts. This means that each of us will constantly have nuclear weapons hanging over our heads.
Of course, nobody wants to live with weapons aimed at them from outer space. On the other hand, for each new American military initiative, a corresponding answer is likely to be found. And so Russia's presence in space will become stronger too. So analysts describing a new installment of Star Wars may not be all that far from the truth. Yulia Shapovalova, RT.
Okay, Shalom, all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rakah Kwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and salutations to you Akim out there that's pushing this word in truth and in sincerity. In today's lesson, we're going to go into the Star Wars 2.0, and that's what I'm going to name this lesson, Star Wars 2.0, because what we have here is the United States trying to assert their dominance in outer space for two reasons. And we're going to get into them two reasons. But what they doing is starting another arms race. Not only an arms race of air, ground, and sea with hypersonic nuclear missiles, supersonic nuclear missiles, and conventional ICBM nuclear missiles, but they are pushing for an arms race with space-based weapons, space-based laser weapons. And for the number one reason is because they know that their time is short, pursuant to Revelation 12 and 12, and they know that what they ignorantly call UFOs, they know that. They tell the public that those are UFOs. But they know, the elites know, because they out there in them space stations and they constantly seeing chariots, man. And they know that those are angels, and they know that they coming back to take them out of their rulership. So that's why Donald Trump, first it started with Ronald Reagan in the 80s with the Space Wars program, because Ronald Reagan was infatuated with chariots, man, and how they maneuver and what they could do. So what they did was they wanted to create a space program where they could put lasers out there to shoot them chariots down, but it's impossible, man, because there's been various videos where you at in outer space with on the space station, they have cameras, and also on them rocket launchers, whatever you want to call them, them spacecrafts, and they show chariots, man. And there's a movie called, we have a documentary called the United States. It's called Space Force or the Spirit World. I forget the name of the video, but it's dealing with apparitions and chariots, and it show you it's called NASA's Space Force, and it's showing you how NASA has recorded multiple chariots, and what they do is they block the feed from the public from seeing it, so they know what they're up against. And that's why Donald Trump, because there's multiple chariot sightings in South America, in Europe, and in America itself. So that's why Donald Trump is, due to the behest of the international bankers, having them build these space-based laser weapons, man. High-tech space-based laser weapons, thinking that they're gonna take down chariots, man, and fight up against the Most High. You know? When Yahweh Shah cracked them skies. And the breakdown to that is 2nd Ezra, the 13th chapter, man. I have a few precepts. Abba Ratazayu Akim out there will be edified, because we know that we're at the end of Esau's rulership, and he's going to fight tooth and nail. He's going to fight tooth and nail and do what he have to do to maintain him being on the top of the hill, which is not going to happen, man. This is Zechariah. And this is there's two reasons. Before I get into the scripture, there's two reasons. The reason why Esau is going back up and starting a space war 2.0. Or should I say a Star Wars program 2.0 is because of the fact that they know that Yahweh Shah is about to crack them skies with the holy angels, man, and take them out of their rulership. And like I said, there's multiple chariot sightings in South America, Europe, over in the Middle East. So Esau knows, man, and that's why he's trying to prepare himself for what's to come. And like I said, the total breakdown to that is 2nd Ezra, the 13th chapter, man, the first verse on down. This is Zechariah chapter 5, verse 1. It says, then I turned, this is Zechariah, then I turned and lifted up my eyes and looked, and behold, a flying roll. Now we all know back in the ancient world there was no objects flying, man. So what Zechariah seen was a chariot, man, hovering above him, with doing different maneuvers. And it says, and he said unto me, what seest thou? And I answered, I see a flying roll. The length thereof is 20 cubits, and the breadth thereof is 10 cubits. He was describing the size of it, man. You know, and the length of it. Then said he unto me, this is the curse that goeth forth over the face of the whole earth. And what's that curse, man? That curse is them chariots, man, enter to the house of the thief, man. Who's the thief? We know that Esau, the so-called white man, is a major thief because he covered lands and take lands by force. He steals, rape, rob, and plunder to get his way, man. Because he has been given the blessing of the sword, so he used that blessing 100% to take what he want. He has taken the world's wealth. He have an occupation or a garrison throughout the four corners of the earth. So this earth has been given to him because he is the wicked. This earth has been given to the hands of the wicked. And to prove who is the wicked, Malachi, the 1st chapter, the 4th verse, man, explains who is the wicked. So he know that his time is short. There's a bunch of chariot sightings. Each time the Most High set to destroy a nation, he sends his prophets to warn his people in them lands of the destruction that's coming. And Esau know the history. The elite, the international bankers know. They know that Esau. They know that Yahweh Shah is an Israelite, a so-called black man, and he knows he's coming back to take him out of his rulership. And that's why they are preparing themselves tooth and nail for that time. They think they're going to fight against the Most High. That's part of that war in heaven, man. That's why they put up them space-based weapons, them space-based laser weapons, high-tech space-based laser weapons, also nuclear weapons as well, to combat Yahweh Shah and the holy angels, man, in which they're going to lose sorely. So it says, back in Zechariah 5 and 3, then said he unto me, this is the curse that goeth forth over the face of the whole earth, for everyone that stealeth, and Esau is a major thief, man. Like I said, he robbed, raped, pillaged, stole people, stole lands. See, he's the ultimate thief, man. So that curse is going to enter to the house of the thief, and that house is talking about the land of America and any other place where Esau dwells, man, where he have set up his kingdom. It says, for everyone that stealeth shall be cut off as on this side, according to wit, and everyone that sweareth shall be cut off as on that side, according to it. And also Esau loved to swear. He make you swear on the Bible when you go to court, whether it's a civil dispute you got going with another person, or a criminal offense, man, defense. They make you swear on the Bible, man, which is wicked, which is totally off, which you should not do. But that's what Esau like to do. Esau, he's a thief. He loved to steal and he loved to swear. So these chariots is going to enter to the house of the thief, and the house, and the nation that's hosting the house right now is Esau, the so-called white man, and he's going to be snatched out of his rulership real soon. His kingdom is circling the drain, and that's why they're preparing themselves for that spiritual threat, man. Because like Vice President Pence said, they have dominance over the air, over the land, over the sea. But now they're trying to establish total dominance out in space, in which they cannot establish any dominance out there. Why? Because that's Yahweh Shah and holy angels' domain, man. And you're not going to and they're not going to establish any dominance out there, man. Pursuant to 2nd Ezra the 13th chapter, man. And it goes into detail how Yahweh Shai is going to come back and Esau is going to be snatched out of his rulership. So it says, verse 4, and I will bring it forth, saith the Lord of hosts, and they shall enter to the house of the thief. Esau is a major thief, man. And into the house of him that sweareth falsely by my name. And it shall remain in the midst of his house, and shall consume it with the timber thereof, and the stones thereof, straight laser beams, annihilation of Esau's kingdom, man. Right along at the very same time, the Most High put the spirit on these nations to form that assembly of great nations pursuant to Jeremiah the 50th chapter, the 9th and the 10th verse, to come up against America, as well as his physical counterpart, the Israelis that call themselves, the Israeli Gutterites that call themselves Jews over there, man. So we're approaching the time which is going to be very exciting. We're approaching a time where everything is coming to pass. All these prophecies are coming to pass. The coronavirus. Then you have Esau, the U.S. military. The U.S. military has they have passed an executive order, COVID 19 or 19, something like that, or 9, which is an executive order to be in preparedness of a mass pandemic. Esau also have extended the Patriot Act for 3 months. So there's a lot of things going on. We got wars, rumors of wars, earthquakes, pestilence. The economy's not doing too great. The infrastructure is crumbling. So there's a lot of things coming to pass, man. That this is prophecy. That's number one. The second reason why Esau put them weapons out there, to put fear in other nations such as China and Russia. But they bouncing back because Russia have a new advanced weapon called the Avangard Complex, which is a hypersonic nuclear missile with Mach speed that could reach in America in minutes, man. That could reach from Russia to America in minutes. So, hey, man, things are starting to heat up, man. Things is definitely starting to heat up. This is Zechariah, and before I get into this scripture, I'm gonna make this one more point. I'm gonna make this one last point. Is this right here? They're creating these weapons because why? Because of the United of Donald Trump, due to behest of the international bankers, having them pull out of the international or intermediate nuclear arms treaty that was established by Mikhail Gorbachev and Ronald Reagan in 1987. So they pulled out of that nuclear arms treaty for what? To start a new arms race. And that's exactly what's going on, because since then, Russia has been creating all kind of missiles, selling missiles. The Philippines done got missiles now, man. So all these nations are building up their nuclear technology and building up their military for what? For the world's third world war. Where Esau called it World War III, but we know it as the War of Armageddon, man. The war to end all wars, man. And this is going to be the end result of that, because at the very same time Yahweh Shai is cracking them skies, bringing death, destruction, and deliverance, this is what's going to happen, man. At the very same time, it's going to be nuclear war. The missiles are going to be shot off from the east to the west, from the west to the east, man. Shaking this earth, man. Rocking this earth, man. And certain parts of the world is going to be destroyed, such as certain parts of Russia, certain parts of China, the whole of America, the whole of Israel, certain parts of Great Britain, certain parts of France, Germany. So every nation that come up against America, that assimilate great nations, certain parts of their land is going to be destroyed, but it's going to be built back up. But not America. America is going to be a desert. Israel's going to be built back up, but America is going to be a desert, a total desert. So this is Zephaniah chapter 1, verse 14. And it reads, "The great day of the Lord Yahweh is near. It is near and hasteth greatly." Because we're approaching that time, man. And that's what all these nations, such as Russia, is building these highly advanced avant-garde complex hypersonic nuclear missiles, man. With Mach speed. And that's why you see NATO troops right along with American troops on the Russian border doing mock military drills. Because they're preparing themselves for that great day, man. And that great day is the day of the Lord, which is going to be thermonuclear destruction and concentrated fire from them chariots, man. So those are the main reasons why Donald Trump, due to the behest of the international bankers, is having them put them space-based laser high-tech weapons out there, man. Above the firmament and them international space stations and on them satellites. Why? Because they preparing themselves for Yahweh Shah to make his second coming, man, to come in and crack them skies and bust their ass, man. And that's what they scared of. So they preparing themselves as if they have a chance, and as if they have a chance. That's like putting an ice cube on a big flame of fire, man, and watching the fire devour that ice cube. Esau is the ice cube, and the fire is the Yahweh Shah coming back with the holy angels, man. So let's visualize that. You got an ice cube or a big block of ice, and you take it and put it on a big flame of fire, and watch what happens to that ice cube or that block of ice. It's going to be devoured. That's right. Or it's like taking a piece of wood and putting it to fire and watching the wood go up in flames, man. So we know, man. So back in Zephaniah chapter 1, verse 14, "The great day of the Lord Yahweh is near, it is near, and hasteth greatly, even the voice of the day of the Lord." And we are that voice, man. We telling you that these days are coming, man. But what y'all do, you mock, you scoff, and you scorn, you talk your shit. You're having your fun. Because 2/3 you Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans do not believe in these scriptures, man. You think it's a fairy tale. So what you do, you scoff and you scorn and you mock and you make fun. But all that soon is going to come to an abrupt end. And then you're going to be calling out. But you're going to be destroyed. Right along with your daddy, Esau, the so-called white man. It says, back in Zephaniah chapter 1, verse 14, "The great day of the Lord Yahweh is near, it is near, and hasteth greatly. Even the voice of the day of the Lord, the mighty man shall cry bitterly." The mighty man in Esau is military. The mighty man of Esau shall cry bitterly, man. Verse 15, "That day is a day of wrath, a day of trouble and distress." Because Esau and the other nations and 2/3 of you Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans are definitely going to be in distress, man. When Yahweh Shah cracked them skies, bringing death, destruction, and deliverance. Deliverance to the 144,000 and the 1/3, and death and destruction to the 2/3 you niggas. And Esau and the rest of the nation that's dwelling on this land, man. So you're definitely going to be in distress, man. It says, that day is a day of wrath, a day of trouble and distress, a day of wasteness. Because the missiles, in which Yahweh Shah call it, which Yahweh call it, the waster, pursuant to Isaiah the 54th chapter, which the 54, 16 and 17, the Most High called his waster to destroy. What's the waster? Them nuclear missiles. That avant-garde, complex, hypersonic nuclear missile, them supersonic nuclear missiles, them ICBM nuclear missiles. That's the waster. A day of wasteness and desolation, because them missiles definitely going to bring desolation, man. A day of darkness and gloominess. Hey, it tells you that in the book of Joel, the 2nd chapter. A day of darkness and gloominess. Because once the missiles detonate and they hit, you have some that detonate in the air and some hit the ground and detonate, man. And they're going to block out the sun. They're going to block out the moon. And the stars, therefore, is going to be a great darkness, man. A nuclear winter, if you will. It says, and of gloominess, a day of clouds and thick darkness, a day of the trumpet and alarm against the fenced cities and against the high towers. And that trumpet that's coming, man, we blowing that trumpet, man, let you know that death and destruction and thermonuclear destruction, the war of Armageddon is coming, but you people want to have no part of it, man. You don't want to hear it. You want to continue in your folly, continue in your wickedness, and therefore you're going to know it after death by pain. You're going to know after death by pain, because death and destruction is definitely coming, man. It says, verse 17, and I will bring distress upon men, that they may walk, that they shall walk like blind men. And when they mean by walking like blind men, have no clue what's going on, man. Totally lost, oblivious to what the hell is going on, man. Searching for answers, man. But they ain't going to find no answers. Why? Because it's your day of destruction. It's your day of doom. It's your day that the Most High is going to hand you your wicked ass. Talk about the 2/3 you Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans, as well as Esau and the rest of the nations, man. They're going to be seeking for answers too. But this is referring to you niggas, man. It says, and I will bring distress upon men, and they shall walk like blind men, because they have sinned against the Lord Yahweh, and their blood shall be poured out as dust, and their flesh as the dung. Hey. Yo, goddamn, man. Those are some harsh words for some harsh times, man. And some harsh times are coming, man. Harsh times are definitely coming. There's no way of escaping the Lord's wrath. The only way to escape the Lord's wrath is to be on them chariots, man. And you have to be a part of the elect to be on them chariots. Them very same chariots, that's a curse unto Esau. Them very same chariots that Esau, the so-called white man, is putting space-based laser high-tech weapons into outer space to combat, man. But they're going to lose sorely. The only way you're going to get out of here is being on them chariots, man. We're in the year of 2020. The second month of the year 2020. Going into the third month, and all kind of prophecies are coming to pass, man. All kind of shit is popping off, man. And we living in some exciting times. So Akim, stay strong, hunker down, stay doing this work, fast and pray. Because, Jacob's trouble is fastly approaching. And with that, I'm going to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Wakah Kwadash. And double honors. Matter of fact, Salakia, matter of fact, I'm going to get into it. I got another precept that came to my mind. So after this precept, I will close it out. Another precept that came to my mind. This is Jeremiah chapter 25, verse 31. A noise shall come even to the ends of the earth. And what's that noise? The nuclear missiles, man. A noise shall come even to the ends of the earth. For the Lord have a controversy with the nations. And the missiles is going to be coming from the north. Shooting off from the north to the east. From the east to the west. From the west to the east, man. Shaking the foundation of the earth. A noise shall come even to the ends of the earth, for the Lord Yahweh have a controversy with the nations. He will plead with all flesh. He will give them that are wicked to the sword, saith the Lord Yahweh. Who is the wicked? Malachi 1 and 4. Who's running the earth? Job 9 and 24. The wicked is Esau, the so-called white man, but you got wicked-ass Israelites that's following and indulging in all the wickedness that Esau himself is indulging in. In fact, the wickedness of our people, the Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans, have surpassed the deeds of the wicked. Dig that. So it says, he will plead with all flesh. He will give them that are wicked to the sword, saith the Lord. Verse 32. Jeremiah 25, verse 32. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh of hosts, that word host means army. Behold, evil shall go forth from nation to nation, and a great whirlwind shall he rise up from the coast of the earth. What's that whirlwind? That whirlwind was talking about them chariots, man. That whirlwind, I'm talking about them chariots, man. That Esau is trying to protect himself, and that's why he putting them space-based laser, high-tech laser weapons, and he got something called Star Wars, the Star Wars program 2.0. Why? Because he's trying to fight against Yahweh Shah and Holy Angel, which he's going to lose greatly. And like I said, they get the whole breakdown of that. You got to go to 2nd Ezra, it's the 13th chapter, man. The first verse on down when it explains when Yahweh Shah cracked them skies. It says, back in Jeremiah 25, verse 32, thus saith the Lord Yahweh of hosts, behold, evil shall go forth from nation to nation, and that's some nuclear missiles, man, going forth from nation to nation, man, and a great whirlwind shall be raised up from the coast of the earth. Talk about them chariots, man. And that's why Esau, the so-called white man, with the behest of the Donald Trump, with the behest of the international bankers, are establishing space-based laser weapons in above the firmament, man, in them international space stations, man, and on them satellites. Why? Because they want to combat. Also, they got nuclear weapons up there too, in preparation of fighting Yahweh Shah and the Holy Angels, which they're going to lose sorely. Hey, man, this shit is crazy. Verse 33, and the slain of the Lord Yahweh shall be at that day from one end of the earth even unto the other end of the earth. They shall not be lamented, neither gathered nor buried. They shall be dung upon the ground. Because there's going to be many dead bodies, man, the slain of the Lord, man, pursuant to Isaiah, the 66th chapter, the 16th verse, man, and the 15th verse, man. You know, 15th and 16, man. The slain of the Lord shall be many. The slain of the Lord shall be many. You understand what the scriptures are saying? You people have not a clue. You people have not a clue, man. Yeah, this is crazy, man. We going down to the wire, man. That's right. Coming down to the wire. Hey, the Most High is going to bring death and destruction. Yahweh Shah is going to bring death and destruction. It says, back in Jeremiah 25, verse 33. And the slaying of the Lord shall be at that day from one end of the earth even to the other end of the earth. They shall not be lamented, neither gathered nor buried. They shall be dung upon the earth. Mad dead bodies, man. And that's when the international banks don't come into play, man. When the 1/3, the 144,000 get beamed up, and they come, and they come back down from them in them chariots. That's gonna be New Jerusalem. And what's gonna be the international bankers' first task? Burying the dead, pursuant to Ezekiel the 39th chapter, the 14th verse. 7 not continuing employment. Isaiah the 24th chapter, the 19th verse on down, where the Most High is going to punish the host of the high ones. The high ones are the international bankers, man. So it's all coming down, man. It's all born down to Esau being snatched out of his rulership. So now with that, I'm going to say all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rakah Kwadash. And double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. And salutations to you Akim out there that push this word in truth and in sincerity. Shalom.